Hey everybody, Jeremy here. Just want to make sure that you all got the announcement. I'm I'm closing all the windows right now that are on my screen because it's a pretty big announcement, and I want to make sure all of you are aware of it. That Cisco has now announced that they are going to be allowing online testing as of literally right now. So you can register for your Cisco certification exams, including the CCNA, including the CCNP, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and take them online at your house. And by the way, this is live. And this is something that I'm literally learning about as you guys are hearing it from me. So what I'd love to do is have a quick discussion with you all. First off, yo, hey, good to hear. Good to see you, Bruce, Nelly. Yeah. So a lot of people jumping in now. There we go. Sorry. I just saw the announcement. So I was like, let's go live with this and just talk about what this means and how this is going to be, very cool. So text from London, Scott, hello. So the big announcements. Now I've got, looks like about 50 some people that are joining. Yes. So you can now take your Cisco certification exams at home. So from what I've read and and it's still emerging of how this is all going to work, I think there's like a very few, like extraordinarily few, like 3 of them that you can't take from home, but literally all of them can be taken from home. The requirements are going to be that you have a webcam attached the whole time. And on the other side, they actually have a proctor that's watching you. So it's just like the testing center. If you've taken an exam before, I can describe it for you. And I've seen the proctor side of it. You walk into the testing certification exam. There's a bank of computers. They've got cameras on you. And literally, the proctor sits there and they register new people for the exam. But they have always got the monitor. It's always recording, watching what you're doing. So if you slide your phone out or something, they'll be able to see you and bust you. And that's kind of the same thing that they're doing now for remote testing. You're going to set up a webcam while you're taking the exam. And when you say you go live, literally you're going to be on somebody's screen remotely, and they pretty much say if anybody walks into the room, by the way, this is the requirement, you have to be in a room that's isolated. If they see somebody walk into the room, your exam is done. They will cancel the exam right there. And I'm glancing at all the chats. Hi from Holland. Hello. A lot of hellos. So anyway, back to the topic at hand. And there's about 70 people that are joining us right now live. So feel free to chat in questions as you're going through. You can take Cisco certifications from home. What I was just talking about is you'll have a webcam hooked up. If they see somebody else walk into the room, your exam is done. You immediately forfeit the exam. Now, what I'm not clear on is it like, a strike against your record? You can, like, if you cheat on a normal certification exam, like, you're done certification testing forever. They can ban you from taking a certification exam in the future. I don't know if it's going to be that stringent on this one because I've already read there's protests like I wasn't cheating, and you can go through this process and all that kind of stuff. But that's the negative. And Matthew is saying I've taken some of these exams; they're not too bad. And that's where I want to go with this. Hi from the Philippines. Hello. This is, in my opinion, extraordinarily positive. And what I mean for that is you eliminate a whole element of just stress out of it. And I can tell you this from I've taken I'd probably say 100 certification exams, maybe more. And it doesn't matter how experienced you are. There's still the drive. And you get to that moment, you're like, okay, I'm at the testing center. You're sitting in the car outside. You're like, okay, it's kind of deep breath. You start running through, all the stuff in my head. And the funny thing is that a lot of the exams I take are for the stuff I teach, which is like it's not even stressful anymore from am I going to know this? Of course, there's always the thought of like, well, will I fumble it up because it's just a bad day or something? But there's just a whole level of stress going into that testing center. Take your keys, your wallet, you sign the papers. They're like, take a picture. You're like, it's all of that gone, and now it's in your home environment. That, I think, is an extraordinarily positive thing. Like that to me is like, this is awesome. Like I could just, like, obviously I wouldn't have I'm teaching the Encore series right now. I wouldn't have my book out because that would be obviously violating something. But also, so the other thing I'm thinking about, let's say I'm all over the place because this is a great announcement in my opinion. So let me finish my statement. I think it's going to be a lot less stress. And yeah, just like Jim is saying, a lot of the testing centers are goofy. They really are. And some of the people there don't, it's kind of like, I'm doing this for a summer job. They don't understand. And anyway, so yeah, I think that whole element, parking that and putting it aside, that's a big deal. That's to me, I'm like, so Jeremy's opinion right now, every certification exam that I take will be from home. I will not, if this policy continues past COVID-19, I'm not going to another testing center for the rest of my life. I will, I don't know if you can hear it in me, that's just excitement bubbling up because I'm like, this is great. The testing center is half an hour drive for me. Harish, there is no extra cost for testing at home. It's the same cost as if you would go to a center. So I'm like, this is amazing. For me, I feel like I will be certification testing so much more because literally, I like I said, I've taken probably close to 100 of these exams, and it literally is okay, let me just block out 4 hours because there's the drive, there's the registration, there's it's just a half day gone to traveling to the testing center, all that. All of that barrier is gone, and that's where I'm like, this will be it. So one of the things, it's funny, as I brought the book up, I was thinking, okay, this is just how my mind works. I'm like, okay, would somebody be able to work the system? And I'm like, I don't think so. I mean, so first off, I'm a physical book kind of guy. I'm like the highlight, all that kind of stuff. Let's say I position the webcam, hang on, there. Right? Nobody knows the book is there. So I'm taking my certification exam. I'm like, you can't pull that off. First off, I'm thinking Encore. That'll be the next exam I take, right? Encore. I'm not, there's 102 questions on there. There's a ton of, I'm not going to be like, and so I'm like, okay, well, obviously not everybody uses physical books anymore, right? So maybe I have a monitor on the wall that I'm looking at right here. Maybe I position the monitor just right. It's so obviously I'm thinking, could somebody cheat? I'm like, if they could, it would be to their disadvantage. They'd be like, the webcam's right here, and you're kind of like, okay, you're staring at the question, and all of a sudden you're like, come on, it's gonna be totally obvious. But number two, it's like, well, how effective are you going to be? It's like, okay, which route will be used? Let's just say, which route will be used for this packet? I mean, you're going to be you're going to be if the webcam's on you and to me, it's to your disadvantage to even try and Google something like that. You know what I mean? I'm like, it would be way too stressful. Anyway, it's like, I would imagine it to be like you're in a Circle K, you see the camera pointed at you, and you're trying to steal a candy bar. You're like, I'm not doing anything here. It just isn't gonna work. So I did a live stream for a reason. This is super exciting to me. In terms of being able, so there's now 112 people with us, which is great. So the news is you can now take Cisco certification testing at home as of today. It is proctored to where you'll set up a webcam. Somebody will be watching you as you're taking the exam. So CCNA, CCNP, any one of those exams you can take online at home. So that said, the reason I did a live stream is I'm like, I'd love to hear some of your questions. Like Shadow Strike, I'm nervous about this. I'm curious. Well, I think the nervousness that I would feel is I'd be, there's times where I'm taking the exam, I'm like, and there's sometimes where I literally just gloss over and check out. I mean, I'll admit, I'll be taking an exam and I'm like, okay, back to it. I'd be nervous. Shadow Strike, that's where I'm like, would somebody be like, that dude's totally cheating? Like, and I'm just like, no, I'm just drooling. Like, this is the longest, most boring exam ever. So I could see something like that. Like, I would be, Nelson, what if the internet connection fails? I think that's where they will say, okay, we're going to stop the exam. I'm assuming, and this is because they just came out with it today. Even the CCNA exam too. Actually, yes, even the CCNA exam. They were not the lab exams. Come on, yeah, but the written exam. So what if the internet connection fails? I'm assuming they would literally stop the exam right there, and they would either schedule it for another time, or you wouldn't be able to take the next question until the internet connection came back up. I thought about that too. I'm like, well, I don't know about that. So, someone's saying it's not a big deal. You can just take a video and loop it. I'm thinking of like, one of those movies where they tap the closed circuit camera and all of a sudden it's like, bloop, all of a sudden Jeremy's like, boom, boom, something like that during the, I think, unless you are very still, I think there's a risk that you could, but yeah, I hear, like, is there, some of your mind is exactly like mine. I'm like, I have no intention of cheating at all, but I'm like, how could I work? You just like figuring that kind of stuff out, right? So other question, let me, there's been a lot of questions that are going through. CompTIA, Scott, I didn't know that. CompTIA went live online as well. So if you're after your A+, Net+, that's all now online as well. So that's from Scott. I'm assuming that's true, which is very cool. So I've talked to many of people out of friends as COVID-19 has happened. I said the world is going to change when this is done. And a lot of people are like, economic collapse and all that. I'm like, there may be some fallout from this, but I have a feeling it's going to be like, But I think the way we do business will change. I was just having a conversation with the CEO of VIA. It's the company, the MSP that I work with. And he's like, we were initially looking to grow the office, but after this, I don't know. There may be some people that are really good at working from home. So there's a lot of talk and conversations about all that kind of stuff. John, that's the same thing I was thinking. What if I have the mannerism of staring at the ceiling while I'm thinking? I think of that too. And again, that's what I'm like. If you were really trying to, let's say you put, I don't know, what are you going to put up there? You're like, but yeah, I do the same thing. Like, so I'll be like, I think a trained proctor, somebody who's just watching you, they're going to be like, he's not staring at this. Like, I would think it would be a little more obvious. You'd be like, I don't know. Like, I'm thinking of all the possibilities of what could happen there. So Praneev, yes, I am the founder of VIA, and I do all kinds of stuff with VIA. So yeah, that is true. Is this Anton? That's a big question. Is this only going to be during the COVID-19 pandemic or pandemic? Answer: I don't know. I would assume Cisco will use this as a good testing period, no pun intended. I think they're going to look at that and be like I have a feeling they're going to walk away from it and they're going to just keep this. And so yeah, but only time will tell. Again, we're at the cusp of this. Can you put lenses with holes on them? Whoever that is coming up with some pretty good ideas there. What if somebody else takes this? Okay. Again, things that I was thinking about as well. AJ, what if somebody else takes control of your monitor through HDMI? I had the thought as well. Screen mirroring. What if I set up? What if I set up another camera? Over here outside of the view, and it's filming the screen. Those are all things where I'm like, I don't know. My guess. I don't know. Like, can somebody steal the question bank from CCNA a lot easier? Probably, but also one of the things that you'll notice, and I know I'm talking CCNA, but CCNP, I have another video on YouTube that is, so when I took the CCNA, the new CCNA, the day of, I came back and I'm like, let me tell you about it. They have converted the exam to a lot more questions. So gone are simulations. If this is new to you, let me give you the flyby. There are no simulations on the CCNA or CCNP exam. It's all just rapid fire, like tons of kind of like, do you know it or do you don't, or do you not, kind of questions that are going on through there. So my my guess, and what I've been told by some people who supposedly are in the know, is that they've expanded the question bank huge, like 800, 900 potential questions that could be on the CCNA or CCNP because they're a lot simpler than the old ones. So if you're trying to memorize that, I mean, it's almost like that would be a bigger feat than learning the information to begin with. If you're trying to memorize that much. So the reason I say all that is, could somebody now, set up an off, your webcam is like this, and then right there is your camera that's recording the screen? Probably, but I'm assuming they're going to change the bank so much that it won't be a problem. So other questions. Oh, actually, that's great. Steven saying, I took the Cloud Plus proctored online from home in January 2015. 2015, they had that back then? Had to rotate the webcam to show the whole room. Interesting. Since that morning, I couldn't understand why all exams were not online. So again, what I would love to see. So I'm planning to take the Cisco Encore exam as soon as I can. I just haven't gotten to the testing center yet. But I'm curious. That would be a great idea. What Steven just said there is, the proctor is like, hey, take your camera, rotate it around the room so they can see everything that's in the room, which would include that, that off. You're like, yeah, I don't know what that is. It's just a plant there, but yeah, who knows what processes that they're going to have. But that is actually an interesting thing. Tex, heard they extended the expired dates. Yes. So expiration dates have also been extended by 6 months for certifications that were expiring. And that's probably because they didn't know if they were going to do this testing at home. That announcement came out when COVID-19 first went crazy. Hello, Vaso. Good to thank you for your kind words. Can I study for the CCNP exam from the old? I want to keep this focused, not so much on specific testing stuff, but more so the announcement that Cisco has now put out there. There's now 150 people, so I just want to make sure everybody's up to date. Cisco has announced you can now take any certification exam. Obviously, CCIE Lab isn't a certificate; it's a lab. Any one of those from home starting today. Now, I just saw in a post that they're like, hey, your start time may be extended because I guess the response to this has been so overwhelming. They don't have enough proctors. It will be a proctored exam. You'll set up a webcam. Somebody will be watching you. All of that. So it sounds like Modern. I'm actually glad you confirmed that. Modern said he took the ITIL V4 exam from home, and he also had to have the webcam, and he had to rotate it to show the whole room. So again, if you've got other cameras set up, or my room right now, they would probably be like, you can't take this exam. I've got cameras over here, for a lot of the filming I do of all the gear that I use. So that's losing my train of thought. Tom, I'm not talking about dumps. We shouldn't be dumping exams anyway. So that said, so rotating the webcam around the room, I bet you that will be something that they have you do to make sure that you don't have anything else set up. Also to get the size of the room and to see where the door is, because one of the things that is clear in the policy is if somebody walks in the room while you're taking your exam, you immediately fail. Like they cancel the exam, done. So you have to have, a requirement for this is that you have a room boxed off. And I know people's houses that may be, I have 7 kids. I'd be like, get out of the room now. That may be something where you have to put something in place there. Other things goes to green screen to take the exam. I'm not sure of the root of that question, but I'm sure there's a lot of creativity that could be done. What else? Okay, PeopleCert proctoring requires you to use a private meeting room. They will not allow you to test until you move to a private room. And that's actually the same thing that the Cisco exams are now doing. They will not allow you to test if you do not have a private room. If there's anybody, if it's a shared room, they will cancel the test. So same policy. Excuse me. When are you going to record the new CCNP routing and switching course? As soon as I'm done with this. So I think that there has been more. It's funny because I have seen more demand for this course that I'm teaching right now. I'm actually doing it with Keith Barker. Chuck Keith, some of you guys know him as Network Chuck, and Jeff Kish, one of the newer trainers at CBT Nuggets. We're all kind of team. Oh, and actually, it's like 5 trainers. Like, because the demand for this course, we just keep upping the pace of this. So yes, Encore will be done. I'm literally on my last 5 videos for it, which should be done probably at the end of this week, and then it's going to be up to the other trainers. My guess, if I had to guess, I would say beginning of May. The whole thing will be out there, and that's a guess. Talk to CBT Nuggets; they'll be able to tell you for sure. So, hello from Croatia. Hello, Croatia. I had to show the whole room when okay. So yes, that's actually what Modern is saying is they check your desk or your disk multiple times during the exam. And I could see that to where they say, hey, right now, which it'd be kind of distracting, if you're like, all of a sudden they're like, hey, can you just rotate the webcam, show your desk? But I could totally see that as being one of the things that they would do. So AWS can be taken from home. I didn't know that. So I have taken a couple AWS exams, typical testing center proctors. So it sounds like they've moved from home as well. So this is expanding just literally as I'm, and that's why I wanted to do it as a live stream. This is a brand new announcement from Cisco. All their certification exams, except like 3, like obscure ones, it's not even mainstream ones, can be taken from home. And it sounds like CompTIA is also following suit, and AWS is also following suit, or maybe it's Cisco following suit. Well, whoever started it, but the point is, that's great. Like, it eliminates a whole bucket of stress that is associated with testing centers. I mean, you can be in your pajamas taking a Cisco exam, and that to me that just is like, oh, it just feels good. Like, I'm like, hey, I might just go take the Encore exam today. Like, it eliminates a whole barrier of hassle and stress of going to a testing center. Hello, Zimbabwe. Hello, Switzerland. Switzerland. Is that the same thing? Okay, so those who have a built-in that's true. You'd probably, so if you have a built-in webcam, I'm assuming you just take the laptop and rotate it around, because I unless you had a desktop with a built-in I've never even seen such a thing. Thank you kindly for a few. Sorry, the comments are coming too fast. I can't keep up with them. So I will grab that comment. We need to protect the value of CCNA and Cisco exam. I'm afraid people will cheat with and degrade the value of CCNA. I talked about that at the beginning of the live stream. I think it would be really hard to cheat doing this. Now, what I could see is it's a lot easier for people to get brain dumps, because you could, I don't know, like if you have to rotate the webcam multiple times, I'm sure the proctor's looking for anything. So but I have a feeling people, they'd stick the webcam in the plant, and there'd just be like, what's that lens sticking out of there? Like, I could see that, but I don't see, with 102 questions on most of the Cisco exams now that are just a lot of test questions, I don't see it being easy to cheat and still pass. I could see it, somebody doing a lot of brain dumps, doing an HDMI splitter or something. But that being said, last few questions. I gotta get back to my Cisco recording. But this was just such a big announcement that I just wanted to get this out there. Now 183 people tuning in. It is true. Cisco is now allowing you to test from home on just about every major exam that is out there. Google Glass. Come on. We're not going to take the exams on Google Glass. I think didn't Google kill the Google Glass program? Hello from India. Hello. And by the way, hello to all of you out there in India. There are just a ton of people in India that have gone through the CBT Nuggets training. And I just want to say a big hello to all of you, because I get such an overwhelming response from India. So thank you guys. Hello from the Philippines. That being said, Harley, I see your question. I'm not going to get into the psyche of testing and things like that. I'm just more excited right now on the fact that we can take the Cisco certification exam online at home. So that's big news, and I hope that you guys are excited as I am, because of the amount of stress that will eliminate. from that. So that being said, all of the other questions as we get, these are like, I'm going to look at this chat afterwards and get ideas for a ton of other live streams that I could do on this, on just study strategies and all that kind of stuff. But for now, I'm gonna get back to finishing up the Encore course. Yes, I'm finishing the Encore series, and again, it's I'll have my stuff probably done end of this week, beginning of next. But there's about 4 other trainers that are all contributing to that course for CBT, so they'll probably be wrapped up by beginning of May. But for the official date, head on over to CBT Nuggets and ask them, because they are the ones that control all of that info now. So that being said, I hope this has been informative for you. I'd like to thank you for viewing.